Hi, this is Maginoni, and welcome to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Disappointing. For this time, this will mark the very first time a DC title has ever reached number one for the good. Oh, I'm sorry, April Fool's. DC didn't win. It's Rocket Raccoon. Nah, I'm just kidding. I did want to be fair and say Superman Unchained, number one, is actually was a really good book overall. Now, before I give it my "this was good" stamp, I have to admit this got me really frustrated throughout the entire book because this is. I mean, let's dissect it this way. We're paying $5. We get a shiny cover. We get this massive fold out that we really don't need, but it does have a cool page. Makes it impossible to read the blurbs. And we get a standard story. I mean, to me, this was like reading Superman Returns. And this was already, I mean, midway I was already going into, oh, this is really disappointing. But I realized that, let's look at it from an outside point of view. This book technically isn't for me or you. This is for somebody who has never read Superman in their life, and they don't know anything about Superman until they saw the movie, and then that's what got them to go out. And that's where you can see Snyder was actually building everything that you needed to have. You need to have Superman saving people, a huge disaster that only he could solve. You had to have the dialogue between him and the people, so this way it shows that he's compassionate and he's thinking of others while he's saving them. On top of that, it's giving you the State of the Union in the sense of this is what's going on in Superman's world. This is why he's not working at the Daily Planet, his relationship with Lois and Jimmy, and you get all of that in a nutshell. And once I realized that part, okay, I settled down a bit. But still, I was not pleased. I was like, wait a second. This is called Superman Unchained, not Superman, let's retell his story, or Superman, let's the rise to being mediocre. And I was finally rewarded at the very end in that we actually get to see a pretty badass looking villain. And for that, I'm happy. And that's this guy right here. Now, if this guy was in the beginning and there was just nothing but fighting, I would say, hands down, the greatest book of all time. This is the way Marvel does things. Sets you up with a bang. But like I said, I fully understand and I can appreciate what Snyder was doing here, building everything up. Even showing, I mean, when I saw Lex, I was like, my eyes rolled, and I'm like, God damn it! It's like Superman has how many villains, and yet Lex Luthor has got to be in every single important book. Oh, it just is infuriating when I see that kind of nonsense. But I was happy to see they just shoved him aside. So overall, Snyder's writing was actually really good in the sense of, like I said, from an outside point of view, he basically said everything that needed to be said for a brand new reader to jump aboard. Jim Lee's art is Jim Lee's art. I mean, I think it's overall, I thought the art was really strong, but let's be honest here. This book is probably going to be late at some point in time if he continues, and once he's off the book, the interest is just going to go like that. So, and I'm not really expecting him to be on this book long, because let's be honest, when was the last time he was on a book for long? So, this was, I know I'm being negative, but gosh darn it, let me give them a compliment once, and this was actually the good book of the week. Now let's get on to the bad. This book was god-awfully bad. Ultimate Comics X-Men number 27, Natural Resources. We have the X-Men fighting the military in a war that the X-Men didn't even really want to begin with because they're being manipulated. And I just kept going, my God, just drop a bomb on them and let's just end Utopia. And that way we don't have to deal with the mutants any longer. This is utter nonsense. It was just a horribly written book. You can tell Marvel is basically on cruise control with this book. They really don't care what's going to happen to it because it just sucks. It sucks so bad. I don't know if they're just waiting for a good writer to open up to take over the reins, or are they just waiting for this book to just eventually, oh, I don't know, get canceled due to low readership. In a way, I think this is Marvel's way of saying, hey guys, all of our books can't be great, so let me throw out a couple of these types of titles. So this way, it will remind you how good our key books are. This is a type of book that I would expect from DC, and it's a horrible book at that. Let me do this for you. Since I'm here, I'll give you the code. If anybody wants to dare read this book. Oh, and while I'm giving you the code, Age of Ultron. If you want to buy Age of Ultron, there's two ways you can buy it in the hardcover trade. It's like an $80 trade or $79, $75 trade. You can either get it at Amazon for about $40, or you can go to discount comic book services, and I think it's like $35. So just check it out, both of those options, and figure out which is cheaper for you, especially when you include shipping. Don't buy it at a comic book store because you're going to pay an arm and a leg for it, and it's not worth it. Now let's go to the disappointing. Batgirl, number 21. And I bet you were wondering, when am I going to throw the DC under the bus again? And let me tell you, right here, bus has been hit. Now, the cover, I think, is fantastic. Beautifully illustrated, and, let's just remove Batgirl, remove the logo, the text, all that stuff. This is actually I think this is a phenomenal piece of art. I love the expressions, and this is really well done. Poster, I think this is almost poster worthy. Now, let's get on to why I think this is a disappointment. This book is horror. This storyline is nothing but a horror story. You have these dolls things. They're evil. They're twisted. They're about to drill this woman's eyes out, and I'm like, holy crap, this is really cool. But here's the problem. Gail Simone, even though it's a horror story, and she's doing a great job at telling a story, she's not making it scary. And I think this is a missed opportunity from, and at least this is a missed opportunity into why I'm saying this is a disappointment for me. Because, it's like this. Like, this is the best way I can describe it. You can take the Joker, and what are some of the best Joker stories? When he's freaking twisted and evil and makes you scared because the way he's thinking and what he's doing and the unpredictability-ness of it and how insane he is. And I don't get any of that out of this. Now, granted, I'm not trying to compare the ventriloquist to the Joker, but what I'm saying is it's the type of build-up, it's a type of insanity, it's a type of personality, and I'm not getting that at all from these characters, which is a shame. It's, I don't know, part of me almost wishes that this was the last page right here, and then they use the rest of this to build the story up, to make it scary, and I think that would have really made me go, wow, this is actually a really good book, or an issue, I should say, because, Gail Simone actually does write pretty well, but that would have really drew me in and got me wrapped up into it, and then made me go, this is really good. But I think part of me thinks that she just played it safe, told a superhero story, and really missed an opportunity. But, for all I know, maybe she wasn't going for the scare factor. But I don't know about you, but I think if you have somebody who's tied to a chair and you have a doll that's with drills on his hand and he's about to pop out your eyes, that technically should be pretty terrifying. So, missed opportunity. Anyways, disappointing, bad, and good. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up, like the Facebook link, Crunchyroll Anime Reviews. I do them from time to time. And, well, actually, I do it almost weekly. So go there. And I'll have more reviews and stuff later. So, until next week.